You're the baddest. Come on. You are the baddest. You are the baddest. You are the baddest. Are the baddest. Are the baddest. You are the baddest. Okay. Welcome to day 5 of Pulling Up with your kitty, where we release the things that no longer serve us, the trauma, the pain, the negativity that's stuck in our body, and we need to shake things up to release it, to bring in new energy and things that do serve us, like self-confidence, self-love, and awareness of who we are, where we are right now, and where we want to go. And by that, we got to let go of, you know it, the stuff in the back that you keep thinking of, that you keep bringing with you, like you're running away from home with the stuff that you don't need. Run away from home without that stuff. But come back to your real home, which is you. Let's start in a child's pose. You know the deal. We've been here already before. It's day 5. So hands come to the floor. You're widening out those knees, toes are together, and then rock those hips all the way back this time. And then walk your hands forward until your elbows are completely off the floor, so you don't want to drop fully, but your head can drop. So your arms are straight, elbows off the floor. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Now, as you sit here and let your hips open up a little bit, the word for today, I thought would be a great word, boundaries. Do you have any? Because I never did. Growing up in a family, a big family, or just in the Hispanic culture, you don't really, you're not allowed to have boundaries. It's not really part of the list that you get of things. Like you get amazing family, very loving, but boundaries it's not one of them. Maybe it might be similar in your family and you grew up that way, but then you bring that same mentality into your other relationships, whether it's work, your friends, your partnership. Where are your boundaries? Walk your hands over to the right side of the room, keeping your head down towards the floor, and then get a nice stretch on the left side body. Pressing into your left hand for 3, 2, 1. Walk it over to the center and then walk it over to the right side. Crawl your right fingertips a little more forward than the left. Feel that stretch in your right side body. And walk it back to center. Now we're going to get into that child's pose that was more with your hips in line with your knees. So just take your booty off of your heels. Get your hips in line with your knees. Can you walk your hands forward a little bit more, but keep your hips where they are? Ooh, okay, now we have more weight in your hips. Round your lower back and hold here for a little bit longer. So this thing about boundaries and how it works into pulling up with your kitty today, your hips start to close off because it's trying to protect you. It's your body's way of protecting you. And it knows that there's certain parts in your life that you're not setting boundaries. So it kind of does it for you. It's like, fine, you don't want to set those boundaries? I will. Gloop, closed. Hips tight. Can't even do a baby split. And we need to be more flexible and more malleable in ourselves, in our lives, so that way we can see where we need to set boundaries. If we're always just tight and closed off, we're closing ourselves off to the world and closing ourselves off to our inner world, where we learn about ourselves and what we want and what we don't want, what we like and what we don't like. So getting out, opening up your hips is going to be a reflection of how you're going to open up to yourself in your life so you can see where you need boundaries. So let's keep this thought of boundaries in our mind while we're doing this practice today. Rock your hips forward and back a little bit. Rounding the lower back, coming forward. Rounding the lower back. And think of when you were a child. Can you think of a scenario or a time that you can reflect on right now? Even like close your eyes, paint the picture in your head. What did the environment look like? Of a time of when you needed to set a boundary and you didn't. Or when you did set a boundary but it wasn't respected. I'll give you some time as you rock your hips back and forth to think of that moment. And just kind of visualize it. And we'll get back to that thought. Just have it in mind and let's move forward. Slowly walk your hands closer to you and then one knee at a time, just kind of start to bring it in. Oof. Bring it in. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around because I like this side better. I can see myself in the mirror. If you have a mirror near you, you should do that as well because it's good to see yourself. And plus, you look really good, so check yourself out. Now, your hands are in line with your shoulders. Your knees are in line with your hips. We are centering the entire practice today around this cat-cow motion. So really, we're learning how exactly it should feel to arch the back and round the back. Getting comfortable within this boundary of these two motions right here. Now start to match your breath with the movement. It's always your breath guiding the movement and not the movement guiding the breath. If you allowed the breath to be guided by the movement, life would be like this. Oh my God. You would have a million types of breath, but when you're in control of your breath, it controls everything around you. You are in control. You set that boundary. So let's inhale to arch. Exhale, round your back, press away from the floor through your hands, tuck your pelvis, and inhale. Arch. Exhale, round. Inhale to arch. Exhale to round. Head even looks down at the knees when you round to remind the body it's moving as one whole unit. Keep going at your breath. When your head starts to match the movement, your body's like, oh, we're not just dividing the upper body and the lower body. We're doing all of this together. Got it. Keep going with your breath. Inhale, micro bend in your elbows. Exhale, round. Now, can you open up your knees a little bit wider and start to make some rotations with that hip? So it goes left hip out, arch the back, right hip out, round. Left hip, arch, right hip, round. Your spine starts to get involved. Let your elbows kind of play with this as well. And maybe you look a little different than me. That's okay. Actually, look different than me. That way you start to realize what it is within you want to move. This is body language. You're speaking. I'm just telling you what to do. So you move however you want to right now. But whichever direction you're doing, let's switch it other side. Alternate and stay on that side. Whew. Maybe even have some fun with it. Roll it around, go side to side. Just always keeping the hips moving. Now I'm going side to side with my hips. Can you start to move your hands a little bit too? Rolling them around the wrist. Ooh, there we go. That's some good rotation. In 10 seconds, you'll go back to center and go back to your cat-cow. In 3, 2, 1, and knees on the floor. Hands are in line with your hips, with your shoulders. Arch your back. Drop your belly, look up, lengthen the neck, and exhale. Round. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale to round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Keep the round. Now take your right leg, pick it up off the floor, straighten it straight back behind you. Toes are pointing towards the floor. Lengthen as if someone is grabbing your foot and ripping it behind you. Can you get that leg so straight? Can you point your toes to the floor so much? Now check your hips. If you're picking your hip up to look to the right side of the room, bring it down so both hips are squared. Can you take your belly off of your left leg, rounding your lower back? Big inhale through your nose. Exhale, bring your knee into your chest. Inhale, press a heavy box away from you. Straighten the leg in line with your hip. Round. round, exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, push. Exhale, round. Inhale, push. Exhale, round, 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 round. Equal weight in both hands. Push. And round. Push. Round, 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 round. Push, keep the rounding in your back. Your leg is back in a straight line. And you take your right knee to your right elbow. And push. Right knee, right elbow, bring it in. And push straight line back. Right knee, right elbow, push it in. Keep the knee by the elbow. Can you lift your knee up 3 inches? Bring it down 3 inches. Back to the elbow. Up 3 inches. Back to the elbow. Up 3 inches. Back to the elbow. 2 more. Up 3 inches. Ooh, I'm shaking. And drop it back behind you. Oh my goodness, guys. That was intense. Okay. Get into a child's pose. Walk your hands out in front of you. Knees out. Whew. So we're keeping that idea of boundaries, right? So setting boundaries with other people, but breaking boundaries within yourself. The things that you say you can't do, that is confirmation. That is an agreement that you make to your word, to your mind, to your body, that you can or cannot do something. So when you say you can't do something to yourself, that it's not possible for you to complete this task or do this thing, it's just outside of your range, you're agreeing to it and your body will accept it as a truth. Where do you have boundaries for yourself, but you don't have those boundaries for other people? Let's start to break those boundaries within us and not have so much control over ourselves that we lose the sense of life coming back up. Same thing happens with your left leg. So can you bring it out behind you? Toes are pointing towards the floor. Nice long leg. It's pointing towards the floor, those toes. Someone is pulling your legs away from you. Micro bend in your elbows. And then can you take that knee into your chest? Exhale. Inhale, push a box away from you. Exhale, exhale, exhale to round. Inhale, push. Exhale, round, round, round. You have a long leg push. Inhale, round, 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 round. Head comes in as well, push. Hips are squared to the floor. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, push. One more. Big inhale, inhale, inhale. Push that boxer into the same line. Can you take that left knee to your left elbow? Push back. Knee to elbow. Push back. Knee to elbow. Push. Knee to elbow. Push. Knee to elbow. Push. Last one. Knee to elbow. Hold it. Can you bring your knee up 3 inches? Back to the elbow. Up 3 inches. Back to the elbow. Up 3 inches. Back to the elbow. 2 more. Up. Down, last one, up, down, bring it straight back, and child's pose. Round your back, come back to all fours. Hands are on the floor, knees are on the floor, cat-cow. Arch your back. Exhale, round. Arch your back. Toes are flat, head is long, and round, round, round. You're a scared cat, you're a letter C. You're a rainbow when you get into that cat. Whatever helps you visualize that you're rounding your back. It's super malleable. It's flexible like you are. Removing those boundaries for yourself so you can set them for other places in your life that you may need them. Fluid in the motion. Can you start to make circles with your hips again? Bring it to the left. Arch. Around and right back to it. Can you go the opposite direction? Can you start to add your head to it, making circles with your head as well? Do whatever you want. Switch directions. It's starting to become fluid to you, how you feel. Get back to all fours. Okay. Come off your hands, walk them towards your knees, slowly coming up. Bring your knees a lot closer together. Arms are reaching up high towards the ceiling. Bring your thighs to squeeze. Toes are flat. Can you go slowly back, leaning back for 3. Front of the legs are stretching. 2, 1. Squeeze your glutes, come back up. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, squeeze your glutes, come up. Your hips are pressing forward, squeezing your thighs together. Inhale. For 3, exhale. For 3. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Hands in prayer position at your chest. Wiggle yourself out, right and left knee. Now take your right foot, step it forward. Bring it back to the floor. It's hip circles, big knee circle to get you forward, big knee circle to bring you back. Bring it forward, core tight, round your lower back, shoulder blades are squeezing back behind you. This is all about building your core to work with your hips. You have this connection from your core to your hips that we want to make boundless, right? Is that the word? There's no boundaries here. The boundary, we're trying to keep the boundary within the mat. So keep your knee and foot within the mat. Coming back down. Control down. Can you go a little slower? Keep pressing your hips forward. 2 more. Yes. Taking your time. Last one. You should feel this in your left hip and shake it out. 1 knee at a time. Just rock yourself side to side. On the right knee, take your left foot off the floor. Looking forward, hips are pressed forward. Squeeze your glutes, core tight. Starting with prayer position at the chest, can you take your left foot forward and bring it back? The first couple might be a little fast because you're trying to get used to the weight on your right knee. But once you get it, can you slow it down? Slow, 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 slow. Ooh, slow, ooh, slow. Slowly forward. Pressing hips forward. Core is tight. Back is rounded. If you want to start to use your arms a little bit, that's going to help you as well. Distribute the weight. You have 3. 1, 2. Yes, yes. 1 more. And come down onto the knees. Hands come back behind you. Press your hips forward, shoulders forward. Press your hips off of your knees. Roll your head back, hold. For 3, 2, 1. Drop your tush into your heels. Bring your hands forward and back into a cat-cow. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Okay. Hands and knees are on the floor. Your toes are flat. Pick your right leg back up into that straight line. Now your toes are pointing to, so this is flex, if you can see my foot. This is flex, this is point, point. Okay, hips are looking at the floor, so square your hips off. Take your belly off of your left leg, if you can, create that space. And now take your right leg, swing it forward, keeping it straight, over to the right side of the room. Bring it back, straight line. Yes. No boundaries here. We're getting out of those lines of the mat. These are for you. You do not limit yourself to any mindset that you think is not for you. If it's negative ones, you're right, that's not for you. But things that are gonna help you advance, confidence, speaking highly of yourself, thinking highly of yourself. You are the best. Believe it. There's nothing better than you. And that's not to say that anyone else is less or more than you. It means that you are your best today. What can you do with all that good energy? What can you change? And the things that you can't change, other people, other situations, it's not for you to put your energy into. One more. And drop it to the floor. Bring it out to the right side of the room and child's pose. I used to feel like I was like a bad person if I was like, I'm the best. You're like, but what about everyone else? It's not about anyone else. It's about you. You are the best. And you deserve to protect yourself. It is your duty to protect yourself. Set those boundaries in your life to help you progress and get to your higher self. This is what life is all about. Learning and growing to get closer to God and understand why you're here. Take your left leg, bring it out. Toes are pointed, round your lower back, hips are looking at the floor, micro bend in your elbows. Can you take that leg out all the way out to the left? You can bend your elbows a little bit more to help you. Keep that leg in line with your hip. You do not drop. As you're doing this, you're going to want to let go of that back and arch it. Do not arch. Keep that rounding of your back. How's your breath? Inhale through your nose. Exhale. Bring it back. Inhale through your nose. Exhale. Bring it back. Inhale. Exhale. You are in control of yourself. Release the boundaries that keep you tied to who you once were. You create who you want right now, breaking those boundaries. Going outside of the lines of the mat, you are breaking those boundaries. You have 2 more, do not drop. Please do not drop. You just did all of this for this moment right here. Last one, slow, 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 bring it back slow, 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 bring it out to the side and drop child's pose. Whew. And slowly bring that leg back to you. And go back to a cat-cow. Last one for today. Arch the back, inhale. Exhale, round. Can you exaggerate this move so much right now? Be dramatic. Be dramatic. Your breath should be so loud that you sound like a fan blowing. Your breath is your energy force. The more that you breathe through these movements, the more that you can move that energy out of you. Your breath guides the movement. through your breath. That is how you control your life. That's how you allow what you want in your life and what you don't. Breathe it in. Everything out of your mouth. Make your last circles of the day. Whatever direction you want to go right now, however you want to move your arms, your head, your legs. If you want to go on your head and, I don't know, do something funky, then do it. If you have a cat, maybe they're like, hey, I know that one. Let me show you how it's done. Go the opposite direction. Ooh. Let your body talk. Let your body talk to you. And slowly come to center. Finish your last roll and then bring your feet forward in front of you. Scoot your tush a little bit. Feet are forward. Toes are pointing towards your face. How slow can you go down? Down, down, down. All right. Diamond shape those legs. Bring your heels as close as you can to your glutes. Kind of bring your shoulder blades touching. Find a good rounding of your lower back to keep your tailbone pressed into the floor. And can you bring your hands on top of your thighs, adding more weight to open up your knees, to open up your hips. Can you close your eyes? Can you start to visualize that moment in your past, in childhood, of when you didn't set a boundary and you wish you did? Or a time that you did set a boundary, but it wasn't respected. Paint the picture. Where were you? What were you wearing? What were you doing? Who was there? What were their names? What was the conversation? What happened? Inhale through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Now rewrite the story. Set the boundary right now. With your eyes closed, become that little girl again, or little boy, or however you identified. You're there. It's you. Set the boundary. Observe it. See your little self doing it right now. Now rewrite the story. Rewrite the story so that the boundary was respected and you feel in control of the situation. And you learned that boundaries are safe and they're there to protect you. Create a smile on his or her face and slowly walk away. You can even give them a hug and say, I'm so proud of you. And slowly walk away. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Day 5 of pulling up with your kitty. Is she getting pulled up? Write about it in your journal. What did you leave on the mat today? What are you taking with you? What did you feel? Notice the movements in your body. Did you feel anything different? Do you feel stronger in some areas? Did you feel pain in some areas that you're like, that was different? Rub on your hips a little bit, up and down. Give them some love. Stay here for a couple of minutes, just rubbing and sitting in that intention of creating boundaries for the people and the events in your life, for things that are outside of you, and becoming boundless with yourself. I'll see you tomorrow.